Morning.
Morning.
Wonderful morning.
Yes.
In the day between Chayei, Mar Cheshvan, and Chof Cheshvan. And this week is also leading up to the Kinnis HaShluchim. So the first Shaila will, the Pasuk is called Chayei Sora, and the next Pasuk says Vatoma Sora. But Chazal say that a person that has a child that's a tzaddik, it's as if they're still alive. So when Sora had a child who was a tzaddik and raised a Jewish family, it was as if she's alive, so it was Chayei Sora. So this week the Shluchim are getting together, and this is a Shaila, which the upshare of the Shaila is very important to almost everything that happens in a Chabad house every day of the year. So let's start with this question. Someone asked a question. So he runs a whole bunch of accounts, and he says that so he has for his clients, so he has that his computer is looking out for different articles of people that are posting things. And for example, on Twitter, they'll go on, and the person thinks that he's interacting with a live person. Oh, and then the computer clicks like, and the guy says, "Oh, wow, this guy liked my article, so let me contact this person and say hello." And in the meantime, that is drumming up business for his customers. So, in his view, no one knows this. No one knows this ruse. It's hard for me to imagine this, but he says no, that no one knows. So therefore, because no one knows, so he asks Jewish customers if and Shabbos will come out, that a vendor is going to see Shabbos in the morning by Kriyas HaTorah, 11 o'clock. This Yiddish vendor is clicked like. It's like Chilul Shabbos. It's Maris Ayin, Chilul Hashem. So therefore, he turns off the computers before Shabbos. Turns it off before Shabbos. On Shabbos, there shouldn't be. Again, there's no cameras going on over here. It's not Mekach Umemka that's going on. It's just that. He says that no one knows that really the computer is doing it. So they're going to think that his client, say Yeshiva Flatbush, a pizza store here, wrote a message on Shabbos. So he turns off the computer before Shabbos. But, so he says that the past Shabbos he was totaled before Shabbos, and he realized Friday night that he didn't turn off the computer. So therefore, the programs are going on Shabbos. So he was in a panic. How can he have such a thing happening? So he decided he's going to do something. He took a broom. He tangled the wire into the broom. He gave the broom a kick, and the plug went flying out of the socket. So the mail of the computer, or the computers, shut down. Now his question was, did he do the right thing or the wrong thing?
It's always good to ask afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. Dafke, you're going to see that this is one shaila out of 1 million that could be that it's kedai to ask afterwards. But this is this touches on a nerve which is negeya and important in every day in shlichus life, and also for me and you when it comes to mekat of other Jews. So let's look at the sugya. Turn the page. Let's instead of just looking at the Gemara with Oisis Machimas, we can look at the Gemara, the Rashi, and the Tosfos. Gufa. Boy, the Bibi Baraba Yehidbik Pas Batanu, the person put the bread in the Tanu. In those days, it wasn't like today. It was like that you make the lafas, like you see on the Coney Island at the shawarma store. They have like an oven, they throw the bread onto the wall, and over there, the Diyas HaPas was, to take out the pas was considered a malacha d'Rabbanan. So the question was, he already put the pas. Is it mutter now mutter? Omar loy Rabacha, Bayake, Omar loy Rabacha, Barabaya, Larabina, Hechidomi. What's talking about? If it was b'shoigeg, so he doesn't know what's going on. Elamon the Itke, he remembered. The Itke, once he remembers, he's not chayv chatas. But not called chayv chatas and chayv shom klos and shogog and sefer shogog. Elamon mezit komen shom the isu skila mebayla. The question was, he did it b'mezit, and he doesn't want to get to skila. Amr of shila lo'olam b'shoigeg. Really was talking about b'shoigeg. Man hitiru la'chedim. The question is, if it's another person, maskef let of sheishes, and this is the one line I'm trying to get to. Could you tell someone do a chait in order another person should have a zechus? he saw his friend accidentally put the pas into the tanur. It was in Shabbos already. So he wants to save his friend from the chait, and he's going to take out the pas. So how could he do such a thing? Did you tell someone to do a chait? No, you can't. It's a rhetorical question. No, you have to go back to the other teretz. That a person did a b'mezid, and he wants to grab out the bread in order not to get to the isur skila. And that they allowed this person to grab the bread out, even though it's a halacha d'Rabbanan, but that's going to save him from skila. Okay. Let's look at Tosfos. Zok the Tosfos. Hod amar nebeirevin. Rabbi Sober nechle chover lioved isura kalila v'loy lioved amaoret isura rabba. Frek Tosfos. What do you mean? You're telling me that if it's an axiom that you don't tell someone to sin for his friend, but it's not true. The Gemara says in Eidevin that it's good for the Talmud Chacham to do a small sin, that the Amaoret shouldn't do a big sin. The Gemara is talking about that he told the Amorites to eat the fruits, and he realized as he told the Amorites to take Einim from the tree, and then he realized, hey, there's no Trumas, there's no Maiseris. So he goes home and he takes a basket of Teinim and he says, this is going to be the Trumas of Maiseris. But it's a Isur, because you have to be Toidim in Amukif. You're not allowed to be Toidim Shalom in Amukif, just like when you do Challah, right? You have to have all the dough in the same bowl. You're supposed to be Toidim in Amukif. You're not to have the one Challah is in the kitchen and one in the dining room. So how can you do that? So the Gemara answers that that better that the Chava should do a small Yisur. So basically it's a contradiction. Here we say the rule that don't do any sin for your friend, and here we say a rule that you could sin for your friend. So which one could you do? Do you sin for your friend or you don't sin for your friend?
It was your fault.
Three tirutzim in Tosfos. It might be 3 tirutzim, maybe it's 2 tirutzim, and maybe it's 1 teretz. Depends how you read the Tosfos. So the 3 tirutzim is like this. The Tosfos says that the Amar lei mola kalkola teinem mitenosi aval holcha shalei nasi isur al yodek einem lechatei afil isur al. Over there, the isur came through me because I told him to take the fruits. So if I told him, I'm responsible. If the chait is coming through me, I have to fix it up. But over here we're talking about I didn't do anything. So therefore, which perhaps is a second teretz, or maybe just another point in the first teretz. Another teretz. That even the person that throws it in himself, you can't see a raya from that Gemara that he's allowed to grab it out. At least, in other words, we should say from that Gemara a little bit of a raya to the question in general, for the person himself, not for his chaver. So he says, no, the Hotzam Adayin Lo Nasa Isur, over there, the Maisa Isur wasn't done yet. The Mutav Sheyasa Isur Kav Lo Yasa Isur Chomer. Or Mutav Sheyasa Isur Kav Lo Yasa Isur Chomer. Al Yodei. Aval Hocha Maisa Shlisa Kvar Nasa, the Maisa was already done. Therefore, Lo Yasa Fil Isur Kav Be'adayin. That's the second teretz in Tosfos. It depends if the Maisa was already done or the Maisa was not done. If the Maisa was already done, forget about it. But if the Maisa wasn't done, that's when you have to try to save it. The Gemara says, that person that's say two neighbors, they bought a slave together. And the one neighbor says, I don't need him anymore. And he makes him free. Now he's a chetzi, and he can't marry anyone, he can't have children. What can he do? So you force the other master to make him completely free so he can get married. Even though he's over on a Yisr Loylam Bam Tavoidu. So the answer is Shanya Piri Aviriba the Mitzvah Rabbi. So this is what's the kula here? It's Chashayla on the Riva and on the first teretz of Tosfos. What's the kula here? The answer is, over here you're allowed to do the sin because in Piri V'Riv is a very, very big mitzvah. That what happened, he came into shul and he had only 9 people and there wasn't a tent for a million. So he freed his Eved now he was able to mashlam the minion. So the shaila was, how could Abelazar do that? You're not allowed to free a slave, so it was a mitzvah. Other Rishonim say the opposite, that the loyal mem to voidu is a very small aveda. They say it's not really, it means that for no reason you're not allowed to give like a gift to a goy for no reason. You're allowed to give a goy a holiday season, you're allowed to give him a gift. Why? Because you're not really giving him a gift. You're giving it to him because you want to shmear him for business. So the same thing here. Okay. Third nekuda, the oidiyah shleimer, third teretz. The davke heicha the Parsha ka'omar l'chi'aymer lo'edem chatei. Davke if the person was posheya. If the person was posheya, like here, on Shabbos, he went and he put bread, so he was a posheya. Even though it's a shogeg, but it's like you should have looked out. It should have looked out the window. See, it's dark already. So he's a posheya. So therefore, we say that you can't save your friend from. But over here, but in the case of the Eved is not a pesheya. Okay, I'll stop at this moment before we'll continue to Tosfos. Rabbi Akiva Eiger says that this is oidiyah shleimer is not a teretz. Obviously, he says this can't be a teretz. This is v'yeh shleimer because what the Amoritz is a pesheya, that he's going to the tree and he's eating fruits that are flat out tevel. There's no trumas amaisas. He's taking filling up a basket and going home, and now there's a chiv of trumas amaisas going to eat it. So he's a pesheya. So Rabbi Akiva Eiger says the third teretz is not a teretz. So I don't understand what Rabbi Akiva Eiger is trying to say because we'll see later the Alter Rebbe holds that it is a teretz and it's miusid on a very big tshuva, a very important tshuva that's in Broner Shulchan Aruch. In the end of Siman Shem Vav, Mitzvah Shem, we might do it next week. So the answer l'chayda from the Shaila of Rabbi Akiva Eiger is simple. If the Amoritz will eat, he'll be a Pesheya. But the Amoritz didn't eat yet. The Amoritz here, the Meichaver already did a Pshia. He didn't look. It's already dark. It's after Shkia, and he went and he threw the bread into the and he threw it on the wall of the Tanur. Mashenk and the Amoritz, he didn't do any Pshia. He didn't do anything. You could give other terutzim also, but the reason I like this teretz is because I found it mefurish in the Me'idi. Obviously, Rabbi Akiva Eiger didn't have the Me'idi, and we're zoichet to have the Me'idi, and that's a teretz. So we see that the third teretz of Tosfos is really a teretz, and you'll see soon the Alter Rebbe comes this way. So basically, according to the third thing in Tosfos, the rule of thumb is not if I made the guy do it or not. First teretz of Tosfos is that it depends if I'm responsible for the chait or not. The bar is much higher. If I'm responsible for the chait, then I could do a chait kedei sheyizakeh chaverecha. Otherwise, I can't. According to the oidiyah shleimer, it's down here. As I could always save my chavad doing a chait. In order, he shouldn't do a chait chamur. It's just that if he did a pshia, then I have to remove myself. And the Alter Rebbe paskins like the second teretz in Tosfos. Even on the second teretz in Tosfos still has a few questions to iron out. The Tosfos says. Was Shapwa the Bereish Tam Nischad Osi Asay the Pesach Shit Bekoros V'Dochi Asay da Shloma V'Kobri Koinim Asay da Shloma Makriv Al Mechusei Keponim Kaperot Kedei Shiyav Pischei. There's a person that say he was a Metzoyer and today's day or a Zava today's day 8, and they do the korban. I'm sorry, it's day 7, and they do the korban. They're not waiting for the day 8, and they're over on. And the Chema Brina Mepeirik Basar, the Erev Kohen Shenimtza by Yabelas Chaveri Choytcheloi Bishina Vapikavda Vishbus. How could his Chaver cut off the Yabelas with his teeth in order that the Kohen should be able to do the Avodah? V'gavachetze Shivcha V'chetze Bar Choyrin Shenogo Minig Hefker V'kofas Rava V'shalech. That the Gemara says there was a story that there was a woman, again, similar to the Eved, 2 friends on the East 16. They said the women said it's so hard to get to clean up the house. They said, let's go out to the market and we'll buy a shivcha. So they went out to the south and they bought a shivcha and they came home and said, the house was always clean and the laundry was always done and it was gevaldik. One of the shcheinim said, you know what, I don't need the shivcha anymore. So she's free. Now this woman is stuck. She can't marry anyone. So the Chazal went and they forced the other neighbor to make her completely free so she can get married. So why l'chayda they didn't Aveda?
She was having relations with a lot of people.
Oh, Sam, that's what the Gemara. So, but still l'chayda they did an isur. So those people are pesheya l'chayda. The people that are sleeping with her ba'aveda are pesheya. They're pesheya. So even according to the last answer, Tosfos, I can only do a chet if you didn't aveda and I could save him. But if he's a pesheya, I can't do anything. But l'chayda they were pesheya. The people that are sleeping with this shivcha, shenoga bo'minig hefker, they were, but still kofas and albay. So the answer to it is like a wild tennis, that she made herself so available to the men that it was as if they were not pesheya, they were onus.
How is possible?
How is possible?
Like around the street. Whatever.
She made herself so terribly available to them that it was considered as if they were onus. So now they were not pesheya. They were not pesheya. Mistama, when they came, if they were caught with Aiden and they came to Bezin, this Tosfos wouldn't be a good enough excuse for them. Just Gabe, this question of the owner of the shivcha freeing her with saying that the bar is very low. I'm responsible for another yid, unless he's a pesheya. Even in this case, when these people who are l'chayda shayim, they're sleeping with this chetz shivcha baskoiden, so they're still not called pesheya. They're still not called pesheya, and I could do the.
It's new.
It's still not pesheya.
She's going to stop being a whore.
Yeah, because now she'll get married. Now she'll get married. She'll get married. Because she couldn't get married. She was very frustrated.
Right.
Because she couldn't get married. So again, if she can get married, she'll get married.
If you're Eved, you're going to get married to your mom. And
if she was an Eved, now she was stuck. So she was very frustrated.
Then she's half Jewish.
Now she was Jewish.
Half Jewish.
So let's summarize. We have 3 Nakudas in Tosfos. The first Nakuda, probably it's 2 Tirutzim, or as I said, it might be 3 Tirutzim, it might be 2 Tirutzim, it might be 1 Teretz. The bottom line is 3 Nakudas in Tosfos. One is, it depends that I caused the Isser or not. The other one is, depends if the mice already happened or not. And the third is, depends if the other one is a pesheya or not.
What depends?
If I'm allowed to do a chet in order to save my friend. So in our case, when this guy wanted so in our case, he's thinking that it's a chet of maris ayin, that it looks like his friends are being machal. He do a small chet of kicking the broom and getting the plug to go out of the socket, which is a chet kal, maybe is a very light sin, in order to save his friend from an isur chomer.
So that's so chomer.
1 second. Good point. But first, let's set it up this way. So the answer is that depends of which teretz and toisvus you hold. If you hold that once the ma'isa is done, you can't do anything. Here, the ma'isa was already done. If you hold that it's that every taste I'm responsible, so then I'm allowed to do the chet. So here he's responsible because he's running the system. The Alter Rebbe paskins like the third teretz and toisvus. So as long as the other yid is not a pesheya, I'm allowed to do a chet for this yid. Which this teretz and third teretz and toisvus is a very, very important negei lahalacha. Very, very, very negei lahalacha. And in Mitzvah Hashem, when we'll have time, we'll look at it inside.
So avera goreret avera.
Now it's a mitzvah. Now it says obligation. Now it says obligation. So there is a tshuva that's brought in Siman Reish Vav. As I said, we'll do it in Mitzvah Hashem inside once. Moiridik tshuva that's brought la'alter Rebbe lahalacha. Now the Alter Rebbe brings it lahalacha. A person, Rachmana litzlan, whose daughter was caught by the church, and now she's in the house of the in a church, and they're trying to convince her to convert. Right? So Chanorach brings it to end of Siman Shin Vav. So the father is allowed to be Machal Shabbos to go try to convince his daughter to leave the church. The Alter Rebbe passes not only the father, but every Jew. And not only every Jew could do it, but mechuyev to do it. And a Jew that could do it and is not being Mechal Shabbos to try to convince the girl to go out of the church, we force him. Bezdin forces him. The Flexach the Shaila, you can't do a chait in order to be mezakeh someone else. So the emes is a moirid word there from the Beis Yosef. Beis Yosef says that it depends if you're passing like the first teretz of Toisus or the second teretz of Toisus. And he's saying all the Rishonim bring both teretzim, but the Rashba brings only the first teretz. That means that says the Beis Yosef that the Rashba would really hold that the father can't go to save the girl. He didn't cause the girl to go to the church. He didn't cause her to go. No, he caused her. She went on her own. We're talking about she went on her own. However, doesn't matter. But I didn't do the chait. I didn't schlep her into the church.
Nefesh, but it's because nefesh.
What's the vision? No, I'm going to kill her.
The shmad that Ruchnis is worse.
Right.
So that's what the Beis Yosef time is. I hear what you're saying, but the Beis Yosef says, and not only that, it's remarkable because the later the Poskim found that there's a tshuva of the Beis Yosef where he brings this question, and he says he's not clear what should be the din. So the Poskim say, you see, because the Rashba only holds the first teretz of Toises. However, the Alter Rebbe, as you'll see soon, brings the second teretz of Toises Halacha, and the Alter Rebbe paskins like the Shulchan Aruch that you're mechuyev to be machal Shabbos. Why? Because this girl didn't do any pshia, and any Jew which is a tinik shenishba that was never confused and therefore is machal Shabbos, you could go machal Shabbos in order to save them. Now, there happens to be that this is a very important nakuda when it comes to Chabad and the Chabad house. Just the other day, someone called me from this shul. He said that there's a doctor in the neighborhood, and he's trying to be mekarev him. He thinks of bringing to a Shabbos table, it'll mamish have a very strong effect on him. But he knows that this doctor is going to drive, and therefore he does. But now he thought of a trick. He's going to invite him Yom Tov Sheni Shel Golias, and the Yom Tov Sheni. So I told him, look, I'll tell you what to do. If you think you can be mekarev the doctor, invite him for Shabbos. No, but invite him for Yom Tov Sheni Shel Golias. I said, Chas v'sholom. Not Yom Tov Sheni Shel Golias.
No,
it's very good you asked, I said. It's very good you asked, because you have children, and you Chas v'sholom don't want your children to know that there is there's some draconian lumdus that you could be mako on Yom Tov Sheni Shel Golias. There's no such a thing to be mako on a Yom Tov Sheni Shel Golias. However, one second. However, most shluchim rely on this din in Shulchan Aruch. Even though the shliach is going to say to the person, we have a beautiful bedroom for you, and you could stay in the bedroom. But we know sometimes that this person is not going to stay in the bedroom.
Sometimes.
So who are we fooling? Who are we fooling? We're fooling the Rebbeinu Shalom, Chas v'Shalom. You can't fool the Rebbeinu Shalom. The Rebbeinu Shalom you can't fool. So the pshat is that really, in the Chabad house, we're relying on this din at the end of Siman Shin Vav, where a shliach is relying on the fact that if a person is going to come to the Shabbos table, his avad, it's going to have some effect. And you see hundreds of thousands Baalei Tshuva came through Raskin's gefilte fish. Raskin's gefilte fish. Yeah. And it's Boduk Menusa. Now, the upshot of this is that a shliach will tell you that if he thinks that he's going to invite a person, sometimes if it's a person that it's not shayach, or maybe this is, or in a situation that we really think that this is not about kiruv, so shliach will not do it. It's only in the case when the shliach thinks that I could be mekarev this yid, and hayois that there's the tshuva about the girl in the church, that the father is mechuyev to be mechal Shabbos, and every yid is mechuyev to be mechal Shabbos, because she is like Parsha, she's a tinik shenishbu. These yidden that are tenoika shenishbu, that they don't know about kedusha Shabbos, so the shliach is relying on this din. Obviously, the shliach is also, as an extra protection, going to say, you know what, we have a beautiful bedroom and stay. But don't think that the shluchim, what they think the shluchim relying on a trick and a aroma to fool the Rebbeinu Shalom. The reason the shluchim are doing it is because it's boduk menusa that there's on Marsov Baalei Tshuva from coming at a Shabbos table, and the emes is taka a shliach that knows that this Shabbos table is it's a chveis, it's a guy that was gelernt the Sachyon Yeshiva and a Haltnish and this, and it's not this Shabbos doesn't seem to be so taka. You shouldn't invite him for Shabbos, yeah.
I was there's a local shliach who was told he wanted to make an advertisement for Pesach Seder. He was told that if you put it in a paper where the people that are reading it can walk, so then by inviting them, you're not being marshal them. It's just, they can walk. So are you saying that you can put it even in a paper that's far away?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying obviously.
Right, I'm saying according to this day.
Yeah.
So you don't even have to be. You can put it anywhere.
Yeah, but obviously it has to be done in
Because the problem is that you don't know if people that aren't Persian are going to come.
Yeah, but
that
you're not
aren't.
inviting
One second, that aren't Nishba aren't going to come. So how come?
So that with this judgment, the person always has to have.
No, it's not judgment. It's a mitzvah. It's that there are people that come to Chabad houses that are also not Tinogim Shnish, but they're coming back. We know we have Vigner knows a lot of them in Williamsburg.
Right.
The Daf Gedaven in the Chabad house. They left Chassidish years ago.
Right.
So to them, if you advertise, they might come.
So you have to be done every case to its. Just to add to this, in Beis Menachem Mendel, there used to be a group. They used to come Israelis Friday night.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a Geven La Yehudim, and people in the block complained. And then a couple of years ago, we had in the sukkah, we had a few Israeli girls,
Oh yeah.
and they were already in the way of doing Torah mitzvahs, and they said, they didn't even know the connection. They said, we used to go on the Jackie Robinson every Friday night. We used to come to this place, the Beis Menachem Mendel. We used to have a great time. And that's how that was Shabbos meals got them on the way of keeping full Torah mitzvahs. Yeah.
Now some of the people who were against it, their kids are further away than the kids that they were complaining about.
My brother's a shliach in Better
Sounds like that to me. Their kids was
Better
probably.
News, yeah. After Katrina, had a bunch of Israelis.
I have a
who
few of
came
them
to
from
make
this
money.
neighborhood.
And they would travel every Friday night. They would travel from New Orleans to Metairie to the Levi's Chabad house. And they came. Within a year, they all moved in the neighborhood next to him. And they all became from. My brother actually went to Israel from South Jerusalem by 2 years ago.
Yeah, but I had
Yeah.
Marsov.
Yeah.
I had a guy used to come to my house. I didn't know he came with his car Shabbat. And he parked in the front. But I didn't know that. I'm preparing the tables and everything. And my daughter told me, this guy comes with Shabbat. He parked right here. When he came, I spoke to him. Hi, how are you? We'd love to have you here. But you have different people here. We try and be in the car. And there's you parking right here. Do whatever you want. I didn't tell him park a few blocks away. But the next Shabbat, he parked 3-4 blocks. And he walked. But Baruch Hashem, after a month or two, I don't know how long, stopped driving. I used to look for him for a room to sleep somewhere by us, neighborhood. Used to be keeping Shabbat, and Baruch Hashem today is 100%.
Unbelievable.
Rabbi,
Yeah.
you mentioned about the people that are not from that would come to the Shabbos meal. They made it through Shmishba. If they come to a Shabbos meal a number of times, or they come to the Chabad Center a number of times, they may become aware that there's Shabbos, there's
That's why the rabbi has
I
to.
can understand more the first time because then there it's like an empty slate. But if they come a number of
What's
times,
about the father that went to the church and the daughter is listening, but she's not fully convinced? Could he go a second Shabbos? How about the fourth
The
Shabbos?
follow-up is the harder
Okay.
than
So
the
that- I just wanna-
I was told by Rav
Yeah.
that as long as I don't invite them, I'm not in trouble. I let people know that every Friday night I have
That's not the best set of kula, yes. What are you arguing about?
I just want
Turn the page. Tshuva.
But I know 5 people in between. They could stay at their house every hour.
Tshuva. Look in the Gemara. Shabbos, Tosfos, there's 3 Tanoim. Then Afkamina, Lagabi Ar Shaila. Look in the Alter of Shulchan Aruch. He passes like the second teretz of Tosfos. Today I'm quoting from some Reish and Dalet Sifyud Beis. Maybe next week I'll bring from some Shin Vov from the Alter Rebbe. The Alter Rebbe wrote, Misha Paskins, Misha no so fast latander b'Shabbos ba'atz, ma ben b'shegem ben b'metzah, v'nimlach l'redoysa, matana k'yim shim af, mutar l'redoysa. A person threw the bread in the tanner. I don't care if it's shegem amazing. He's allowed to take out the bread before the big Isur happens. Even though taking out the bread could be Isa D'Rabbanan. Afilu b'tanurim shalahem sheshayich b'meredia, tiru l'chachamim Isur shel d'bneiim. Chachamim said it's mutar to do the Isur of the Rabbanon of Redia Kedei Shelo the Isur Skiloi the Isur Chatos. Aval Adam Acher Lo Yitiru Lides Kedei Shelo Yav Chaveiro Lechiv Chatos O Skilo Shein Eim Adam Chatei Kedei Shezak Chaveirach Given the Parsha Chaveire V'Mashanosna Pas Lataner because he was Beisheya. The mice in our case, I would say, yeah, it's inviting Yidden for Shabbos. Obviously, every shliach discusses it with his rav, and every person should talk to his rav. But there is a backbone for a big hula. In this case, I'm not sure that kicking kalacha yad, the plug, is a isukal. It's not so kal at all. It depends if the how the computer works. Is the computer right now working on battery or not? Is it constantly taking juice out of the plug? If that's the case, kalacha yad is basically doing a kalacha yad on isa deiraisa.
What's the deraisa?
I don't know exactly what deiraisa on electricity. Maybe it's maki b'patish, but it's but it might be an isa deiraisa.
I asked the question once.
Yeah.
He said it may not even be a derabban.
May not be a run, or maybe a isa deiraisa.
What's the mice that have a Shabbat microphones?
I know, but that, I'm
They
talking
don't
something
know
else.
electricity.
I'm talking now about kicking out.
Okay. It's not. I said maki b'patish. Maki b'patish is the malacha of turning it on or off.
It's a lot. What about a real
Now, there's just one more thing that there's a ritva that says that the difference between the two sugis depends if you did it on your own or you asked the question. Ain't oimrim loy l'adam. You don't tell the person. But if you did it already, it was done. Even though none of the posek can bring this ritva, I haven't seen any posek that brings the ritva. But Lepoil, the ritva says that the answer between the two sugis is you don't tell a person to do it. But if he did it, the mezakeh not the yid to say it. So to the person that asked the shaila, if he's listening right now, so the answer is don't do it again. But if you already did it, is so what you did to help another yid to say that.
Or that's not the guy to do it.
If it was telling a goy to do it, I would say not because it might be.
There's no
Depends
malacha.
what it depends.
What's the malacha?
What's the malacha?
Taking it out of the oven.
Do it yourself.
Oh,
What?
he was asking if he could ask the goy to pull the plug.
Oh,
Because if it's
because it's only a groma. It's only a groma at most. I mean, I'm saying, according to you,
I don't know
So
how
I'm not saying.
electricity
Let's say it was derabban, right? Because you're not being. You're stopping electricity from going into a machine, right? So why would you be allowed to turn off the machine if it was? Let's say it was even unless you took the plug to the switch and you closed it. What would that be?
I don't know.
Okay, so I'm saying over here with the plug, it's a little bit further removed.
It's a little further. On the other hand, the isur that's being done by the computer working on Shabbos is very small isur.
Also, yeah,
It's like it's very small.
it's not ksiva. There's no ksiva because there's no roshim.
No. We were talking about there's someone that does advertising.
On the other hand, maybe
automatically
it's
serve for likes.
But
What do they
people
do?
understand.
What do they do?
That people are not so talented. Understand the computers might be talking to
Because
computers.
it's his company.
Another thing is, Chadrish Haba was born in Sochi.
You can't do stupid things anyway. He's gonna hate Yiddish. He's gonna hate Yiddish.
I don't want to go to
He sees you take it out.
Maybe it's
He's gonna think
kibbutz.
you're crazy.
Probably not.
He runs service for everybody.
Okay, another shaila. There was the Mishpacha magazine had this article. This was 15 years ago. This is Kislev 5766. I'm mazel that I found it. I was looking for this. I can't imagine how many piles of paper I went through to get to the bottom. This is an article that's. But I found it. I got the matzos atam, and I found it. Elamai, the copy machine is not working, so if you want, later I'll make a couple of copies. Kids, the story's like this. The name of the article is $25 million funeral. So here's the story. Here's the story. There was a Yid Nebuch in Auschwitz that was taking care of his little son. Mamish, his wife was killed, and he's taking care of his son. The father and son was separated, and the father thought that the kid was killed. He wasn't sure. After the war, he went to South America, and he found a shiksa. He got married with her. He opened a business, and he was very successful.
The father.
The father. The son didn't know the father was alive. Moved to Eretz Yisrael. He was a frum Yid, and he lives today in Tel Aviv. From the kids went to yeshiva, from family, Baruch Hashem, b'chul. Okay. A couple of years ago, a couple of years ago. It was about 15, 16 years ago. This
He had to have been already almost 90.
yeah, an old man in Buenos Aires, a wealthy man, calls his son. He says that he was at the doctor. The doctor told him that terminally ill. I said, didn't say what he asked, but he's dying in a couple of months. He says it always bothered him that he didn't search enough for his son. Was a son alive? So he told him the son's name and date of birth. And he asked him if he could search. So this guy was searching and searching for his brother. And I missed the detail in the story. This Yid will call him Yaakov, and the son will call the Reuven. The father Yaakov moved to Buenos Aires. He married a shiksa and had a son. He opened a business. He was very wealthy, and now now that the doctor told him that he has cancer, he asked the Goyish son to see if the brother, the Jewish brother that was separated, half brother, that was separated from the father in Auschwitz, is still alive. So he's gesucht.
It's like Yaakov. He felt that his son was still alive.
Felt his son was alive, and he felt bad. So the kids said, the Goy in Buenos Aires found the Jewish brother in Tel Aviv.
Wow.
This guy in Tel Aviv gets a phone call, and he's saying already 60 years Kaddish for his father, and his father is alive in Buenos Aires. So he gets the first ticket, and he comes to Buenos Aires to see his father. At the airport, his half-brother's waiting for him, and he tells him that he came a few hours too late. That's like a story couldn't be. So the kids now.
That was just to trick the half-brother out of the Yerusha, give it to the Jew.
So listen to the story. His brother tells him that the father left a will. He has it's $50 million that he remains, and he wants it to be shared equally between his two sons.
The father knew he was alive.
No,
Once he found out, he changed his will.
Whatever, that's the story. You'll read it. I'm just telling you Bekitzer. Now they were talking about funeral arrangements. So the Goy, the half brother, the Goy says that he already organized with the Galach, and it's going to be really fancy and really nice. Don't worry, it's all taken care of. So the Jewish brother went crazy. So now they started arguing and fighting, and this guy doesn't know what do you want? You came here. I spent months looking for you. I'm sharing the Yerusha with you, $25 million. I took care. I made the biggest arrangements, nicest arrangements. The Galach is taking care of all the arrangements, and now what are you doing? Kid said that Frumyid called his lawyer in Tel Aviv. His lawyer in Tel Aviv found a good lawyer in Buenos Aires. They went straight to court. They did a halt on the funeral. The judge said, "You know what? Azap shoret. We'll cremate the body, and we'll give half the ashes to each son." The wisdom of Shlomo Melech. So,
How come this wasn't in Zman?
I don't know. It was before they started. It was,
Going to be a makif soon.
It's going to be in Zman. You should get it.
So they said they did research on the story and that they found it's true. So the Kitzer, the Jewish from Yid from Tel Aviv, the Jewish brother says, "You know what?" He says, "You know what? I'll give you $50,000. Let me Jewish funeral." So he says, "Are you interested in money? You know what? If you give me the $25 million, the body is yours." Wow. So he said, "That's it. I'm giving you the $25 million." And then he took the body. He flew back to Eretz Yisrael. He was Nebuch, a person that did not have a lot of money, so he was stuck now with a bill of $50,000 of legal fees in Buenos Aires, and also the burial fees. But he was very happy that he was able to bring his father to Eretz Yisrael. So this Shaila was, really awakened a lot of discussion. A lot of discussion, as I said. I heard about it at the time.
That's why it's a $25 million funeral.
That's why it was called a $25 million.
He should have sued the guy after he buried his father. Should have sued him.
They say
the courts would have definitely given him back some of the money.
They say that they verified the story, but he didn't want to be interviewed. He said they spoke to his lawyer, they verified the story, but he didn't want to be interviewed with the Mishpacha magazine. He wants to stay anonymous. But they say that the story is emes v'yatzeh. So now the shaila was, as I said, this was such a sensation at the time. I put it away, and Baruch Hashem, I found a copy of the article.
Even today, he'd make a few $100,000 on GoFundMe.
But back then there wasn't.
Right, just saying. But such a tzaddik, such a story. They should reprint it, update it, interview him.
He's a charity.
Go fund the poor guy, for heaven's sake. I would give him money because he did that.
This happens.
Then I'd also fund this lawyer to sue the pants off his half brother. It's called minus. It's called duress. You can't duress. I know people that have sued people. They tried to make transactional real estate under duress. They finished the transaction and then they sued them and they won. It's called duress.
I hear what you're saying. It makes sense.
But maybe in Buenos Aires, probably the judges are also getting from that 25 million. That's the problem.
It's unbelievable.
It's got to be something. He knew beforehand that.
There's a lot of corruption.
He told him, "Don't try suing me because it's not going to help you."
I've won all the judges already.
Exactly.
What the question is?
So what's the question? The question here is.
Who said this?
It has to be a question. The question is, did he do the right thing or the wrong thing? Also, the question is.
Cremation?
No.
Why? That's like the Bear Maya Chaim's father.
Well,
He opened up all his taps before Yom Tif.
Right,
He forgot to
exactly.
sell it.
exactly.
He lost his. He became rich. He got the
There's
Bear
no
Maya
shot
Chaim.
this in Tel Aviv is going to have some schus. He's going to have a son will be a God will be Yisrael, will have a Einikel will be something. But the shaila is, did he do the right thing? So looking, so Bama says at the time, I heard a lot of talk about it, and then last night I can't believe it. It was like something that was hiding in plain view, a tshuva the Chavas Yoyer that asks mamish this shaila that happened a few hundred years ago, not with 25 million, but with maybe some dinners or some pesos. But a story that mamish like this, and the Chavas Yoyer gives an answer. But let's first look at this tshuva. Choshe Mishpat says like this: Shchiv mirash etziv v'amar al yaspidu. A person before he dies says he doesn't want a eulogy, so you have to listen to him. Amar al tikperu ben achosov. He says that he doesn't want that they should use his money to do his burial. Ein shemim loy koifen as yorshim l'kovrim nachosov. And next it says Misha Nosam Amoyne Amatonis Arba Bashir Me'at Yorshim. He gave most of his money as gifts to people before he died, and he left to his Yorshim a drop, a little bit. Still, Chayavim Lakoivrim with his money. The Prisha Kosa, the Prisha writes, Mamoyne Shal Ames Meshubad Likich Mimen Tzorchik Vurose Lachen Chayiv Lavaz Kol Momen Yerusha. That's what the Prisha writes in the same simon in the Torah. So Taka, they bring in the name of Chaim Kanievsky, Agon of Chaim Kanievsky, and he said that based on this, that the son did the right thing, and he was mechuyev to do so. At the time, I remember hearing from Rav Yehuda Bleich, Sheichya, Shlita, saying that like an interesting lomdus. He said that the whole sugya in the Gemara in Sanhedrin about burial, and I'm trying here to shoot to Chelkas Yaakov if you ever want to look, because there's a whole discussion about cremation, and he has a beautiful tshuva. The Chelkas Yaakov writes a tshuva to Rav Avram Meir Israel, who said that he was a Rav in Romania and then in New York, and he said he had a Sayyid, a Balabas, that moved from Romania to Costa Rica, and there isn't a proper Jewish cemetery there, and so he wants to be cremated, so therefore he doesn't have the bizoin to be buried in the Goyish cemetery. So the Chelkas Yaakov is a beautiful long tshuva explaining how terrible cremation is. The reason I'm telling you this is that all the time, you don't have to be a shliach. You meet people and you find out that Achmon al-Itzlan, that the plan is for cremation, and really at the heart of it is that it's a terrible thing.
And it's a lot
terrible
cheaper
thing.
than burial. It's
Right.
a lot
A lot of
cheaper.
people do it for that, the same way.
Right. So b'meila it's a mitzvah.
lot cheaper.
Because the Gemara has a discussion, and it's not clear at the end why is the chiv of burial, but there's for sure that it seems that there's two psukim. It says that when Bezin kills a person, that's Chayiv Misa. There's a mitzvah to say of Kover Tigberenu, and there's a mitzvah loy to say of loy Tolon Nivlosei. And the Gemara seems to understand that that applies not only to the Arugi Bezin, but to every single Yid, that unless they need to wait.
What about for a non-Jew?
Some place can say it applies. The Minchas Chinuch says it applies even to a non-Jew. Applies even to a non-Jew.
Why can't we burn them?
I guess.
He says even to a non-Jew, and he brings that at Ayah because Yeshua, when they killed those Malachim and they threw the rocks at them, he said that they should. Then they hung him up, and everyone should see. He said that they should take off the corpses before the night. So we see a Raya from Tanakh Mefedish as the Minchas Chinuch that the Loy Tolan applies to Goyim. That's the shit of the Minchas Chinuch. I mean, we're talking now about Yidden.
Yes.
So it's a the Gemara says that it seems to understand that most of the Rishonim hold that burial is a mitzvah asay and perhaps a loy tasay. There are some Rishonim that say it's a derabanan. So according to them, probably the pasuk of Kaveh Tikberenu and Loy Tolan is only going for Arugi Bezdin. However, most Rishonim say it's a mitzvah asay and could be it's also a mitzvah loy tasay. So the Gemara says why? The Gemara says two reasons. And the Gemara doesn't seem at the end to have it clear what's the real reason. Bizyoina, it's a bizoyin for the mace. And the other one is kapora. When the person goes back to the earth, then they're zoichet to have a kapora. Right. And if they don't go back to the earth, they're never zoichet to have a kapora. All beautiful things. But there's no kapora, which is the most painful thing for neshama. That's why I have...
Unless they died on Kiddush Hashem, Eish.
Okay, then the Eibusha takes care of Kedoshim.
Yeah.
But now, I'm talking about people over the years, so many people, Nebuch, nice people, and they think it's not a bad thing. But you have to, not besides the mitzvahs I say, they should understand that their neshama will never have a moment's rest unless the body decomposes mamish dust to dust, offer toshu. And that's a big nachas to the neshama, the kapora. And when that doesn't happen, the neshama is unbelievably frustrated because it's not there is no kapora here. So it's a very important thing to explain that people that onas of yidden that are nichshel in this.
But
So
they
anyway,
come back as Gilgul. The only other choice is come back as a Gilgul.
could be, but they're still.
Maybe that's some of the Rahman al-Islam. I don't, there's a lot of children that die.
That stain will be on
SIDS, they have sudden infant syndrome. Maybe some of these neshamas come back as
Who
infants.
knows? And they need to be buried. The neshama needs the body to bury, because we understand that the body took in it things that are negative, that are tomei, that has to do with the Chayei Tzadah still. But a Jewish body has to be purified before Tchias HaMesim. So whatever is not, that's what tzaddikim take. They say stories of they saw the Rebbe Rashab so many years after this, and they saw this goof mamish as if it was alive. And
So it was wet,
right? And all different. I'm saying story of the Rebbe Rashab because his birthday is tonight. Chof Kisra, Keser, Chof Cheshvan. But there's many stories of Gedolei Yisrael similar to this because they didn't have any ra that went into the goof. But the people that have a little bit of ra that goes into the goof, so the neshama has incredible nachas when the goof decomposes, and that whatever is negative goes out, and the etzem luz will always stay, and therefore the neshama will later come back to the goof, and the goof will be rebuilt. But whatever negative will be recycled somewhere in the world. It'll go. The ra will go out, and that's what the Gemara says. It's kapora. So therefore, the Chelkas Yaakov says to this person that's a mitzvah rabba for him to explain to this balabos in Costa Rica that even though taka it's a big tzar for the neshama that when a tzaddik is buried next to a rosho and when a yid is buried next to a goy, but it's kedai to go through that tzar and not chas v'sholem to be cremated. This is the Shuva in the Chelkas Yaakov Agav. The Chelkas Yaakov is a very, very important Sheilos of Shuvas Sefer. And Mitzvah Shem over the years will quote him a lot. Rabbi Yaakov Bereish was a Rav in Zurich. I remember the first time I
Not
was...
Lisa?
Huh?
Not Lisa?
No. He lived, he passed away maybe 50 years ago. He was a very choshev Rav. But I remember when the first time I bought a Sheilos Shuvas Sefer and I opened up the Hagdama. I said, wow. My uncle knew him very well. He was a very, very choshev Rav in Zurich. But the story is that the Nazi saved his life. You have to hear how, because this week was like an anniversary of 80 years of Kristallnacht. So and he was I forgot where, a town in Germany he was at of the Kahal Yirem, the Frumen Yid, which was a very choshev Talmid Chochem. And the Nazis came into his house and they gave him they gave him a beating, and then they took him a parade in the city, and everyone, all the goyim stood there and they spat at him. So it was impossible to keep on living. This was 1935. So the Kehila all got together and they smuggled him out of Germany, and the Kehila in Zurich decided to take him as a Rav.
Kristallnacht was 38.
Before Kristallnacht,
They did already spat on him?
Yeah.
35.
They did a parade.
The first thing was the rabbis. The first thing they went after was the rabbis.
And because when they did that to him, the Kehila realized that this was 1935. Before they realized that the Rav has to get out, so they smuggled him out, and they smuggled him into Zurich, and from that schools we have all this Sheilos Tshuvas. There's 3 Chalokim Sheilos Tshuvas, Chalkas Yaakov, a lot of contemporary Sheilos. Go to it's like just like at Igris Moshe. Igris Moshe was here in America, and he's touching a lot more contemporary Sheilos.
Because with the Holocaust, he lived through the Holocaust. He must have.
But Rabbi Yaakov Reich,
50 years ago,
in the 60s. And Rabbi Yaakov Reich, a lot of Sheilos go to the Mitzvah. Will be looking a lot of the Chalkas. So Chalkas Yaakov is a beautiful tshuva about cremation and about the chiyuv. The bottom line is that he thinks that according to most Rishonim, there's a mitzvah say and a mitzvah loita say. So here is the interesting upshlombus. The din is that if a person has chas v'shalom, a guy wants to force him to oiv and a loita say, and he could save himself, how much money should he spend on it? Every penny he has. How about if a guy wants to force him not to do a guy goes and steals all the esrogim? No esrogim in town. The guy says, you want $1 million in esrog. So it depends how much money you have. Until you could pay.
Why should that be different than like the Maram?
So
they're just going to keep that.
That's shvuyim. That's a different thing. But by mitzvah, until a chaim b'shav yonachotzim, yeah? And it's brought in Yod Chaim, it's also brought in Yod Deya in the beginning of Siman Kuf Nun Zayin. So, it's a venza. If you say that it's Kol B'Tik Berenu, and that's the main thing the mitzvah say, so then this guy in Tel Aviv was worth 25 million and 3 shekels. So therefore he was not mechuyev. But if you say that there's a loita say, a loitolin, so he's mechuyev to give every nickel and penny he had. Okay, so that's l'choyer a nice lambus. I found in plain view a beautiful shayla of Chavas Yor that asks exactly this shayla. He says there was a story in his time. There was a yid aganav. He was caught. Those days, kipshuta, saw ganav l'tliyan. He was killed. So that was not good enough. So now the government said they're not going to allow him to be buried in the Kever Yisrael unless the family spends an unbelievable amount of money. So they came and asked the Chavas Yor if they're chayav to pay this money. So Chatchila, he says this slumdus. He says it depends if it's a mitzvah say, a mitzvah loita say. You have to spend all your money or only 20% of your money.
Or if they're living in the house that he stole. Or if they're living in the house that he stole.
But then they said that at the emissaries that it's not true. They're not chayav to spend the money. Why? Because they are. It's not that the goy has the body. The goy has the body. So because the goy has the body, who says that they right now have the chiyuv to bury him? They don't have the body. The goy has the body. If they had the body, and now the Chevra Kedisha says we're not going to bury him unless you give us $100,000. It's a shayla. Or this country don't allow to bury people. You have to fly them to another country. In this country, you have to cremate them. How much you have to spend? You have to spend all the money you have. All the money you have, because the children are chayav to take care of this. It's their chiyuv to bury their father. It's their chiyuv l'mazag. But he says now that the guy has the body, that's the svara. The svara is that the chiyuv wasn't chal on them yet. Once the government gives them the body, the chiyuv will be chal. So back to our shaila. Could be the chiyuv was not chal on him. The goyish brother has the half brother has the body. And it's now in the house.
Was the brother saying, I won't give you the body?
The guy didn't ask any money. The guy just wanted the Yid should take the 25 million and go back to Tel Aviv and not bother him.
So it was like a trade, the body for the
money.
Yeah, I said they were going to bury him anyways. Just the priest was going to do the ceremony.
Right, it wasn't going to have
But it would be a
KBSO.
Jewish
For $1 million, he could have gotten a Mossad agent to bring the body to Eretz Yisrael. I'm saying just for $1 million, maybe even $100,000. The next week he could have gotten a Mossad agent and would have been out of there.
So now,
Faster than they got Eichmann out of there.
exactly. But
Misaskim.
He wasn't thinking for that fast. He was
Well,
just so he wanted Ozdim Mekayim Shiva. He wanted to sit Shiva.
No, but if
He spent $1 million for the body and
He's not
$24 million to
interested
sit
in the
Shiva.
He's not interested in the headache.
yeah, I'm not sure how Mossad will do it. There were many other infamous Nazis that the Mossad should have gotten, and they chose not to.
Really?
Yeah. They
Rabbi
got-
Misaskim would have taken care of it.
I don't think.
Bottom line,
The-
Lanius Daiti. If he asked, it's good that he didn't ask. He didn't ask here at Beis Menachem Mendel the Shaila, because Lav Dafka the answer would be so unequivocal that he's mechuyev to spend the 25 million. But now that he did it, and we know that it could be he wasn't mechuyev, the schus is 10 times bigger.
1 second, if he's not
Yeah.
Mechuyev,
In Eretz Yisrael, on Haram Menuchos,
Yeah, what you say?
Godel HaMitzvah.
Godel HaMitzvah.
If
True.
you got Mitzvah, then it's less.
True,
kind of.
true.
that's a good
Yeah,
point. That's a good
point.
But you know what? He didn't have time to start. He didn't have time to start asking Sheilos. It was Mam Sheiros Shah.
Yeah.
So he didn't have time. So he did what the best that he did.
He thought he was Mitzvah, so he said he thought he was Mitzvah.
Exactly. He thought he's mitzvah. He thought he's mitzvah when he did it.
That's only half as good, though. But it's better than not being mitzvah. On Har Menuchos, they have a mokum that just has ashes of the Kedoshim from the Holocaust. They have a few other places, also by the Rambam in
Right.
Tveria. So if someone was cremated, a yid, is it still best to bury those ashes?
Yeah. The Tshuva say that
should?
you should bury them, including those soap nebach, and
Right.
all those should be buried.
Right. They also have I think in the Israel Museum, a few, maybe not. Somewhere in Israel they have a Torah that's made out of not a Torah, a book, Rahman Islam, that they used for skin, from Yiddish skin.
It's in Israel, the whole
Sick people.
I
Sick
saw
people.
it. I saw it.
Yad Vashem David.
Now, if it's possible, should we
Okay,
get
one more
should
shaila.
the ashes go
We have
into
to do it very quick.
Okay.
So the third shaila is like this. It's a Tachashayich Tzvik Parsha. It says Vayiviyah Yitzchak Oil Sara Imoy. When the Rashi says Dugma Sara Imoy. When she came in, all of a sudden there was a miracle that Ne'er Dolok made of Shabbos, led of Shabbos. Okay, so now a shaila. Someone called me the other day. They had a baby, Lamazel Tov. They had a boy. They came home out of Shabbos, and they were so torud, and all of a sudden they realized it's already Shabbos, and she didn't light the Shabbos candles. So he asked, "What's the din?" The din is mefurish. Look in the Shulchan Aruch. Look over here. Tshuva. The din is mefurish Shulchan Aruch. The Alter Shulchan Aruch. Some Reish Samach Gimel. Tzipalo. Isha sheshok chapamachas lahadlik. Noyagim shemadlik. It's called Yemei Gimel. That she adds an extra candle. V'mshok chakama pamim. V'siva b'chol pam. Kadei shel hahefer v'tzugonan. She is yihina mekan alabov v'kavet Shabbos. V'loitobel le'shikcha. That from now on she shouldn't forget. Avalim nensa v'loidliket. Going she's in Beis Asurim. She was in jail. She couldn't light. And it's tzirich loisav keneged zeh. So l'chayda in this case, I mean, she wasn't in jail. She came back 12 o'clock from the hospital, and this was.
How many days after you have a baby are you considered honest?
And that's what I'm asking. I don't know. L'chayda she's so it's a shayla l'chayda. But then I realized that this b'chlal not a shayla. I mean, I told him immediately on the phone because I felt that I could hear his wife in the background and I could feel the stress in her. So I said, no, she's avada, does not have to light extra candles. He said, why? So I said, when you do an aveda, your wife doesn't have to do tshuva for you. He said, what are you talking about? So I said, look in Shulchan Aruch. And that's simon, look here. In Sifei, it says, Noegin, Sheisha Yeledes, Abal Madlik, Mavorach, B'Shabbos Rishona. Says Shabbos, after she has a baby, the husband has to light the candles. When she's in Nida, she makes her own bracha. But the first Shabbos, after she has a baby, the husband has to light the candle.
Is that
So I
Armenic
said,
too? Is that Armenic too?
oh, so that's what I'm going to talk about in a minute. First I'll tell you what I said, and then you'll be done. Maybe I said wrong or right. But I said, listen, you were supposed to light the candles. You want your wife to do tshuva. You want your wife to do tshuva. Obviously, that's what he called.
Yeah.
So I said, your wife, you should do tshuva for your shikha. You're mechuyev to light candle.
Why was it his? She couldn't.
No, because that's what says Shulchan Aruch. Then it's more Abraham, the Mishnah Berurah brings it also. The first Shabbos after she has a baby, the husband should light the candle.
Really?
Nobody.
do that.
No, right. Not only we don't do that, but I've asked. No one heard of such a thing. No one ever heard of such a thing. So,
Well, anyone that learned this simon in the Shulchan Aruch knew it.
Well,
but,
wife's in the
but no one does it.
No
So
one
I
does.
help the Abish.
Well,
You
the
can find
wife's in
today.
the
Find
hospital.
everything.
The husband's home alone.
I just I found a beautiful article from Rabbi Levi Beschitz, Rabbi Levi Beschitz, Zachron and Levrocha, who was at Oven Tzfas. Beautiful article about it, and he asked the Shaila. It's simple. How come no one? It's a Parsha in Shulchan Aruch. How come people don't do it? So first of all, he goes through what's the reason for this. He brings three reasons. One is he brings from the Aruch HaShulchan that Mistama Eina Nekiya, because she's full of blood and she's not naki, and she can't make a bracha. So he says, but the truth is that, but here we say that a nida could make a bracha. And how about a nida when she's now in the middle of being shefas?
Yeah.
The fact is the Alter Rebbe Paskins, the Simon Peches, and the Mishnah Berurah also Paskins that she could make a bracha.
When she leaves the hospital, she's been cleaned up. She's
Exactly.
Not best. Okay.
And if she can hold the baby, she can hold the candle.
Okay, so that's out. Second teretz is brought to Magon Baruch Frenkel Nagos Shulchan Aruch. Is he says she's so weak she can't go out of her bed.
His aid. Baruch Tam.
Right. So the Baruch Tam. So he says, but this is also Psashvach Tam because she can't get out of bed, and also the Magen Avraham says that but when she's a nida she could do it. What if it's a inyan because she's shvach in bed? What does it have to do? It's mashman that's not the reason. So Rabbi Bestritsky has a beautiful pshat. Can liken the finger. No, a beautiful pshat. You have to hear
He
it.
said beautiful. He
You
said,
have to liken the finger. He says because Alter Rebbe says that really the chiyuv is on the man and woman equal, and it's more even on the man. Elamai,
the husband's supposed to remind the wife.
right? And it's his chiyuv. It comes out from the Alter Rebbe. It's really his chiyuv.
And he's supposed to set them
Why
up.
is she doing it?
He's supposed to set them
And
up
that's why he's supposed to
and
set
light
them up.
them and put them out.
So Elamai, why
To the women light.
Do the women will light? So there's two reasons the Alter Rebbe says. One is because she is Muzer Yosef because she's oiskes betzorche habayis, because she's always oiskes betzorche habayis. So the way you read it is, in other words, she is cooking, cleaning, she's doing everything. And Shabbos, 2 minutes for Shabbos, the husband comes. Okay, where's the candle? Where's the matches? That's not nice. I'm doing the laundry and I'm doing the dishes and I make the challah and the kumsachs again. You waltz in 2 minutes and you're going to light the candles. Nishain. So therefore, she is oisik b'tzorcha abayis. She gets the din kedima to do it, but she's doing it for both of them.
Never mind, she doesn't mind when she takes money out of your wallet when you come home.
The other reason out there ever says he kofs in neide shaloylam lakach nosno lam mitzvahs at lokas ne Shabbos shetetaka masha kilkala. She went mataka what she was makalkal because the neide shaloylam was adam ish. She got him to sin, so she diminished the light of the world. So now with the Shabbos candle she'll add to the light of the world. Not only that, our minig is that the women light an extra candle for every child. So I saw the Mishnah Halacha says because for every Shabbos after birth, that Shabbos she didn't light. So I said do tshuva to add a candle for that. But that's strange. I think the real reason is Parsha, because the Gemara says Arogel b'ner havlan bonim tamid chachamim, and if you have candles that you'll have children tamid chachamim, and if you're not children, will be son-in-laws tamid chachamim. So therefore, that's why.
But everyone lights Shabbos candles. So who gets the one to be Talmidei Chacham?
That's why I get.
I think it's on Zman. I think it's Bisman and it's
I get the
Hashem
candles that are extra long. I get the extra long candles.
But I saw somewhere else that it says it's dafka if you light Shem Zayis. And it's not on minig, I know.
Right.
But because Shem Zayis is meremes to Torah.
To Torah. Okay, whatever you try.
No, I'm just saying, what's the Indian? Everyone lights. You're mechuyev to light.
Right.
So what does it mean? Zoyin means that you're.
I think the minhag olam is that's
supposed
why
to
they
light
add a
with
candle
your
for each child, because they want that their neshama should have a special zechus,
Right.
and therefore they add. I think that's a pashup shot. Why the minhag olam for every child? What's it do? There has to be light in the room in order to eat. So the Shabbos.
Well, you need more light because there's more
Because
people.
there's more people at the table. I think there's an extra schus. There's a beautiful sikha in the Rebbe. The Rebbe says that in the days of old, the mother lit the candle, right? Because it came to shidduchim, who decided the shidduch? The mother and the father found the boy, and they decided that this is the right boy. And they did the calculation in their mind that this is the best shidduch for their daughter. But Bisman Hazeh, that's not the way it's working. The daughter is meeting the boy, and she makes the decision. So she has to have as a special schus. So therefore, it's kedai from when she's 3 years old. Yeah, that she should light. That she should have, the Abisha should give her the schus of that schus, that her eyes will be open to make the right choice for her right shidduch.
Nice.
Akoponin says, Rabbi Bisteritsky, beautiful pshat. He says, this week she just brought an neshama into this world. Neid Hashem nishmasa adam. So why does she have to be matakin the kilkul? She was just matakin.
Yeah.
She just brought a new neshama into this world.
So she did it.
She did it. So the whole reason that she has a din kedima over her husband is to be because she wants to. She says, "I want to be matakin." But this week she was already matakin. The biggest tikkun. She brought a neshama into this world.
But we wanted to keep going. We wanted the neshama to keep going.
So Arbazai, now her husband gets the din kedima because she has more schus than him now. She brought a neshama into this world. So at least that Shabbos after she had the baby. That Shabbos after she had the baby, her schus is so big that she can't say, "Oh, but I must have the schus of lighting the Shabbos candle."
She has it already.
Because she has already such big schus, and the husband says, "Okay, now it's listen, honey. Now I want to light the candle. You brought a baby into this world. I feel like a midget. Please give me the schus. I want to light the Shabbos candle."
Very love the candle.
No, so that what's the upshot of this? That's why he says the Alter Rebbe says this din not as din, and he says noyagin, and it's behemshich to the 2 reasons. He says the minig is that the woman allows her husband to do it, but bisman hazeh, the women decided that they want the schus too. They want the schus too. So therefore, and if the husband is maskim, he's Michael. The whole thing is that her schus is so big, now it goes back to the chiv to him. But if he's maskim, so she can light the candle. So hadra leduchta. So I'm thinking like this. Emes taka, that's a good limit schus for what's going on today, even though it's a din foolish that the husband should do it. But if the woman is Michael, and the husband is Michael, and he allows his wife to light the candle, so the wife can light the candle. But in this case, if this person asked me a shaila, so now they came home from the hospital. Emma says that today the minig is that the women light. But Leparla, whose chiyuv was it? It was his chiyuv. He forgot. So why should she have to do tshuva? So I think it remains that she doesn't have to light an extra candle for the rest of her life, because this one Shabbos was not her chiyuv; it was his chiyuv.
Exactly.
Emes could be today. The minig is not that way, and the husband is Michael to the wife. And she does it, but the part was his chiyuv. So the fact that she forgot.
Make you call it the next baby because we fight in the house Erev Shabbos.
Hopefully he's listening to the shir now or later.
They say that the whole reason why the Shabbos left the coming is Oyenig and Kovet Shabbos. Today, maybe one of the reasons also why we're not so nizer in this, because the lights themselves are overshadowed by the electric lights. Some even say that you should turn off the electric lights and then turn them back on before you light the Shabbos light, and have both in mind. So maybe the reason why this is not in mind is that the women don't know all these lumdas. So man, maybe before Shabbos she should turn off and turn on right before she lights. After she lights, she should turn on the electric lights, and then both will be yotzei. Because some say you can make a bracha on how the Shabbos with an electric light.
Do you want to hear something? 2 weeks ago, there's a lady in the hospital now, but we learned for her schus. So she called me up. She's in the hospital. She says, Rabbi, there's no candle.